Well, hi, and welcome to another LRCC Soundbite. I'm continuing with the stories of Jesus as he was travelling to different towns and villages, and as he was teaching people about God and how they should live. All these stories are recorded by a man called Luke and are easy to read in the Bible. By this point that we're at now in Jesus' life, everywhere he went, crowds came out to see this man, this travelling teacher who said amazing things and healed sick people everywhere that he went. Today, he's reached a town, and there's crowds and crowds of people there. Among them is one very small man, who's also very rich and very, very unpopular. You see, he's a tax collector. Now, back then, tax collectors were often very rich. They collected taxes on behalf of the Romans who occupied the country, which made them collaborators. But they'd also demand a little bit more from everybody and keep that for themselves. They were seen as dishonest cheats. They were seen as working against their own people. His name? Well, I've heard two different pronunciations. I've always called him Zacchaeus. Other people call him Zacchaeus. But he's heard of this man called Jesus. He's curious about Jesus and decided he wants to see who this man is. Now, remember I said he was a small man. He was so small he couldn't see over the crowds. So he had a bit of an ingenious idea. He went down the street a bit and climbed a tree that was growing there. This was a great idea. He was out of the crowds. He was safe from anyone who didn't like him, which was pretty much everybody. And he could see and hear what Jesus did and said. Great plan. Only problem, Jesus spotted him. And as Jesus did, he changed Zacchaeus' plans. Jesus headed over to the tree and called him down. He told him, "I've decided I'm coming to your house for dinner tonight." Okay, that wasn't part of the script. But credit to Zacchaeus, he comes down and is honoured and amazed to have Jesus come to his house. Nobody else is impressed, of course. Surely Jesus could have gone to see someone a bit more worthy than this man that everybody hates. So what happened? Well, we don't know exactly what Jesus talked to Zacchaeus about. But we do know that whatever was said completely transformed this dishonest and thieving man. By the end of the evening, he'd committed to sell half of everything that he owned and give that money to the poor. But he wasn't keeping the other half. From that, he was going to pay back everyone he had ever cheated. Not just what he took, but 4 times what he took. This man was completely different, completely transformed. And as Jesus left, Jesus said something really nice to him. He said, "You are a true son of Abraham." What does that mean? Well, it meant that Jesus had recognised that Zacchaeus had come back to live the way that God wanted people to live, that he was forgiven, he was accepted by God. It was amazing for him, and I hope amazing for the town as well. I don't know if he continued in his tax collecting role. Maybe he did. If he did, I'm sure he would do it in a very much more honest and honourable way. So the great news of this story, like several others about Jesus, is it doesn't matter who we are or what we might have done. The message that Jesus came to share, and the message we still share today, is that it can completely transform even the very worst among us. The forgiveness offered by Jesus really does cover anything we might have done, and he is always there, always waiting, always willing to accept us. Another time Jesus said this. He said, "It's only sick people who need to find a doctor." And Jesus was the one who came to find people who felt lost, unloved, and unlovable in this world. It's what we try to model at LRCC. We try to not judge people. We accept anyone who comes. Any questions about that, contact me or visit us this afternoon, 2:00, 44 Lindbergh Road. God bless you. I'll see you next week.